Hey, remember back in '93 when Ryan thought Shockmaster was going to be a future world champion?
The modern day wrestling god! What?
And that's why, Jack, you're so smart.
Now back to Jack and Ryan on the MonsterCast.
But if you did see our prediction show, by the way, that happened this week. By the way, good call on doing that show on Wednesday, dude. Golf clap for you. Golf clap for you. He wanted to do it on Wednesday night. We did it. A lot of people watched it. I appreciate it. I wish there was more comments on our stuff. I wanted to see other people's predictions, you know, to see where people were leaning, so I could get a better feel of how bad we were gonna do. We didn't do bad though. Yeah. But we didn't do bad. We went 7-1 apiece. Right? Yeah. 7-1 each. WWE Crown Jewel 2023, baby.
Yeah. Let's get that review one that we picked differently on. It's pretty funny. And not moving anywhere.
Yeah, that was crazy, right? Okay, so we picked different on the Bianca Io Sky match. I won that one. And we picked different on the Cena Solo Sikoa match, and Ryan won that one. And I will tell you right now that you won yours a lot more handedly than I won mine.
Three Samoan spikes.
What the fuck?
Beat the shit out of that man.
Fucking gave him 10 of them. Give him 10 of them, son. John Cena said, please, may I have another? No, like, legit. He did say that. We all heard it. All right, so anyway,
he was very loud, yes.
Let's first, okay, before we get into the actual review, do you want to do the grades last, or do you want to do the grade first and then tell everybody why we did the grade?
We can do the grade first, I guess.
Okay, my grade is a D.
Whew. Rough.
It's pretty rough for me because I'm a very generous grader, I think, on the show.
Yeah.
So D is not great at all. I can't believe, dude, no joke. I had to go back and watch a fucking match, which I don't remember. What match did I have to go back and watch? I fell asleep. I took a little nap in between, and I can't believe that this show was this long with only 8 matches. It was a long show. Or just felt long, one or the other. I swear that shit came on 12 here and didn't end until after 3 here, which is insane for an 8-match show. 7 matches if you take out the pre-show, which I also watched.
I think they were all over 10 minutes each. Pretty sure. So.
Well, that happens when you don't have Goldberg or Lesnar on your show, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So I go to D. So what's your grade then before I move on to the actual review part?
E-. Like, it wasn't bad. I mean, there was the booking was bad.
What did you say? Like, legit, what did you just say?
C-.
C-. Okay, I thought you said B-. I was about to fucking go off on this motherfucker. Oh my god. There's no B's that should be anywhere close. Oh, I just hit my thing too. I forgot to show you this. I got this. I picked this up from Five Below. There's a green screen that goes over the back of your chair. I thought this was pretty fucking cool. It's a circle one, but I figured I'm going to try this out. It was only $10. It was on clearance. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can use this instead of the actual big green screen thing that I bought. Yeah. That is just always in the way when I try to put it up. And try to do the Jack to the Drawing Board segment that we were talking about a few weeks ago, that I was supposed to debut a few weeks ago. I'm gonna try this out and see if that works, and just put the board over my head or something. We'll see if that works. I haven't really gotten a chance to try it out yet, but I kept hitting it in the back. I was like, "What the fuck is on my back?" But I forgot that I put it there because I wanted to show it off. But yeah, I'm very hyped about that too. All right, so my grade was a D. You said C-. That's pretty close. I don't know why you acted like I was.
I didn't think it was D.
Come on, 0.25 Dave Meltzer over there.
Yeah. Well,
my problem wasn't the match quality. It was always the end booking.
Yeah, it was. But
like most WWE stuff. All right, so I'll talk about a little bit about mine. All right, let's talk. Seth and Drew. It started the show, obviously. I won't go in order. I just got my notes jotted down here. I thought the match was really good, but I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. I knew Seth was going to win.
I haven't seen anybody click out.
The only world title that I think has ever changed at any of the Saudi shows was when Bray Wyatt won his first one as The Fiend.
Did it make... Okay, here's what doesn't make any sense to me. You hit him with a Claymore, you get the pinfall attempt, right? Then the next sequence pretty much is you trying to do another Claymore, which now he has the presence of mind to super kick to counter. But he didn't on the first one. Like a weird...
There was one thing that annoyed me too that I saw a lot of people also agreed with, but I didn't really comment on it on Twitter. I was saving it for the show. I know I always talk about adrenaline and try to use that as an excuse for a lot of storytelling stuff, but this is 2 storylines in a row where he's mentioning his back. and he's over there doing fucking flips and trying Phoenix splashes or corkscrew moonsaults if you're fucking Michael Cole, because he doesn't know what the fuck the moves are. Thank God for Wade Barrett telling us what the moves are. Thank you, Wade, for correcting him. Phoenix splash. Does a Phoenix splash. He's springboarding off the fucking ropes and shit like he's in fucking Ring of Honor 2006. And
not
he's got
just
back
that, but
problems.
this is after he took a spine buster on the fucking steel steps. So like,
adrenaline can only get you so far, right? I mean,
it does seem weird to be like, I still have full access to my entire moveset as I sell my back being so fucked up that I need surgery. Like, it seems you got to pick one. It wasn't a bad match by any means, but it's just something that's like,
oh, the match is great. In a vacuum, it is. But if you watch the lead up to it and then watch it, it's like this doesn't really make any sense. Well, the story is his back, obviously. I mean, they didn't really have a story, but the story all the way back to Shinsuke mentioning his back and stuff, that kind of came out of nowhere because I don't think anybody was like, what are you talking about, his back? It's just magically his back has been killing him.
Okay. What the fuck are you talking about, brother?
But yeah, I mean, I knew Drew wasn't going to win. We both picked Rollins. It was pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, the match was good. I won't say the match was fire. I won't say, like, there's people saying, oh, that match was fucking fire emoji, and I'm sitting there like, it was good. It was good, but let's slow down a little bit.
3.25.
Yeah, I mean, okay, like no joke. It's not okay. If it's a 4, it's a 4 even. If it's a 4, it's a 4 even, and I'm probably not giving it a 4.
I wouldn't give it a 4. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't bad. There was just little stuff where I was
fine.
like,
that's fine. But that's the common theme of this pay-per-view, I believe. Really solid matches, 3s to a 4, but definitely nothing over 4, and then just shitty endings that also take away from the matches. So
yeah, you want some more interference? Fucking Roman Reigns went, like, obviously Roman Reigns was gonna win, but goddamn, man, he has had a few wins where he's not doing interference finishes, which is, you know, whatever. But it seems to me like if you're trying to build him up to make this argument of him as the greatest champion of all time, because they keep posting the graphic of like how long it's gonna take for him to pass Hulk Hogan, which makes it seem like they might actually have him retain at WrestleMania again, because I think he does need to do that to meet the amount of dates. You can't keep booking him like he needs interference all the time. I think it's weird. Like, and LA Knight is super fucking over, but if you don't want him to lose clean, you just don't make the match. There's ways around making the match. You could do like a Indra angle. You could have him go for the Intercontinental title. You didn't necessarily have to put him right at the top of the card but you could still keep him at the top of the card if that makes sense. Like the Intercontinental title has a lot of prestige and stuff right now too. So I mean, it just seems like there were ways to handle this that might have been a little bit better. I do get tired of the constant interference stuff. I like that they made the solo match pretty dominant because obviously he needs it more than Cena does. And it's weird to say, but I almost feel like Reigns needs stronger wins now because even though he's been the champion for as long as he has, you're kind of killing the credibility of his reign a little bit. And it's like, don't tell the story of him constantly needing interference to hold it, and then when he loses it, it's because he doesn't have interference, which it seems like is where they're going. He doesn't have anybody to interfere on his behalf or whatever. Like that doesn't make him look like a strong or good champion for the time before, you know? It is what it is. You kind of get used to it, and also it's a Saudi show, so I guess I shouldn't take it too seriously. But it felt cheap in the same way that it did with Sammy, and the same way it did with Cody, and it gets old.
All right. So again, apologies for the technical difficulties. We've never had that happen since we've been streaming on YouTube, so that was weird. Hopefully it doesn't happen again for the rest of the show. We've had fucking almost 3-hour show on here before on YouTube a few weeks ago, and we didn't have any issues at all, so that was really strange. All right, talking about interference. You got Damian and Cody had interference. Roman and LA Knight had interference. Io Sky and Bianca Belair had interference. Logan and Rey Mysterio had interference.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
The Saudi people just want to see a lot of people. So you gotta book them.
Well, then bring back the Greatest Royal Rumble if that's the case.
Yeah, why wasn't there one this year? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, I think they've only had the one. They've never had more than one.
I feel like it should have something special associated with it instead of just being like a normal match card. Having a 40-man battle royal is pretty cool. They probably fired too many people to do it.
Yeah, they probably don't even have that many people agreed.
Yeah,
All right, so let's talk about the Kyrie then. Kyrie coming back. I thought it was cool, but that crowd was not the right crowd at all.
Honestly, you know what it is? It's probably travel. Like, they don't want to send 40 fucking people over to Saudi in case that happens again. I agree.
There was almost no, there was like no response.
And you can't say it was because it was a women's match, because they were pretty active during the Rhea Ripley one. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, so I didn't like that.
Because it wasn't. A bad match.
I thought it was a waste of Kyrie coming back. It was, we're starting off on an L as far as Triple H goes. It's not Kyrie's fault, obviously. She was told to go out there. This was set up. She didn't just randomly show up. Real.
Maybe they didn't know who she was.
Yeah, clearly. But are we shocked from a crowd that's usually dead anyway, and then fucking wanted Yokozuna back when he's dead, and Eddie Guerrero?
Well, right. The reason I'm saying it that way is because obviously there's a difference between I don't know who that is and I know who that is, but I don't care. So when we say somebody didn't get a reaction, those are the two.
It's clearly on the side of they don't know who that is.
They don't know. Yeah. I was excited.
I mean, it was cool, but then it instantly gets drained. All the coolness factor and excitement factor gets drawn out of you almost immediately because there's no fucking reaction on the fucking TV. Like that happened if that happened in Survivor Series at Chicago, that would have been one of the coolest moments probably from the fucking show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting they bring her in as a heel too. Does that seem weird to you?
I thought that was weird as well. I did say that. I thought that was weird. Said that out loud, not on Twitter or anything. All right, so let's talk Damian and Cody. Obviously, Damian tried to act like he was going to cash in earlier on Seth, but Sami Zayn came out and knocked his ass out. And then later on, he had to have the match with Cody. They did your favorite. It's a regular match, but they did moves on top of the announce table. I know you're a big fan of that. And so, anyway, so Cody gets the dub, but we already knew that was going to happen because he's got to finish this story that's never ending. The never ending story.
On ending 3.5, baby. Yeah, I did. Obviously, we didn't expect him to lose.
I mean, but it's funny because it's like as soon as a Money in the Bank winner wins the Money in the Bank, they lose every fucking match until they cash in. Yeah,
because they know that they can book him that way and still put him back at the top of the card at any time. So it kind of, I mean, it doesn't look good, but it does make sense.
All right, we talked about Roman and LA Knight, obviously. I thought they were both solid in the ring, but terrible booking at the end, obviously. The 5-way I didn't think was good at all until the final go-home sequence. I thought the ending of the match was cool as fuck when she does the Riptide on top of 2 other people and then picks up the win, but that match was not good.
Oh, speaking of doing moves to 2 people at once, did you see Penta's shit on Rampage where he hit the Made in Japan but leg dropped the other guy at the same time as he's coming down? Shit was sick.
That match was fire. You want to talk about a match that was fire? Let's talk about that one. But anyway,
way go.
The Logan and Ray match was better than I thought it would be, given Ray's age. Not necessarily anything other than that.
People are making such a big deal out of that one spot where he does the moonsault. It's like, oh, Logan saved his life. He was going to break his neck.
It was a good save, but I won't say he saved his life. He would have continued the rotation.
And his hands were already front down and planted, basically. It was basically like in a handstand.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it wasn't a good save, but I'm not going to say he saved his life. Like, it was a good save. It was a good save in the sense that it wasn't about to be a botch in the match. Also, but it wasn't a life-altering fucking thing or anything. And
I've said multiple times, this is not shitting on Logan, because I've said multiple times, like, Logan is very good for how little time he's been doing this. But that was his fault. He was the wrong distance away. That's why he had to move up to catch, because he was too far back. So acting like, oh, what a brilliant fucking wrestling mind. Like, it's good to have the presence of mind to think, oh, something might be off here and I need to get closer. But it was his fault he was that far back. And B, Ray had already had his hands fully out. If Logan wasn't there at all, he just would have pushed off his fucking hands into like a handstand rotation and fallen, taking a front bump. So it was, I feel like that whole thing was so fucking overrated. Like, his hands were straight down. He would have been okay. So.
Solid match, but I still think Drew and Seth probably had the best match. And like we said, it was probably only like a 3.25, 3.5 max, right? What was the best match to you? Because, okay, and before we get on that, let me talk about the Logan Ray a little bit, because neither of them with the title, the U.S. title, really do anything for me. to be real with you. Like the U.S. title on Grayson Waller or Cameron Grimes makes a hell of a lot more sense than Rey Mysterio, a legend who doesn't need it, or a celebrity who's only had 8 matches and is basically a fucking Andre the Giant type deal as like a
attraction.
Yeah, an attraction. Yeah, exactly. That's what he is. So he doesn't need it either. So why aren't we putting it on like a Grayson Waller or a fucking Cameron Grimes or somebody else that you drafted fucking months ago that aren't doing shit?
Because they're not on the public
That's what
circuit.
the U.S. title's supposed to be for. Those are the kind of guys that they're for right now.
Well, right now it's going to be a promotional title to bring attention to the product from people outside of current fan base. So there you go. I'm sure they see the numbers that he does when he does boxing events and shit, and they want attention on the wrestling.
I have no issue with him being on the show and capitalizing on the boxing match. The U.S. title doesn't need to be on his arm, though.
But when he goes everywhere with the U.S. title, it becomes a talking point in any fucking interview he's in, any like public.
Maybe, but it's not the same as like a WWE title. Where, like, they're not shipping off U.S. titles to fucking sports teams. They're only shipping off the one that is around Roman's waist. They're not even shipping off the fucking Seth Rollins one. So it's not that big of a deal.
Think about it like this. He goes in for an interview with some fucking local news station or like a morning show or podcast or whatever, and is wearing it. It's going to bring up the conversation about WWE regardless of whether or not they immediately recognize it as a WWE belt. Because even if they only know him as like, oh, we know that he's been doing boxing like that. It's like, oh, did you win a belt in boxing? No, this is my pro wrestling belt. I also do professional wrestling. I just won this at a Saudi Arabia event, like against a legend, Rey Mysterio. Like there is a lot of promotional stuff that comes with even just having it, regardless of whether or not like it's the biggest belt.
Yeah,
it's a conversation.
I'm not feeling it. Don't care.
There's a
I understand everything you just said. Don't care.
And focus the conversation on WWE. So
they got enough fucking focus on them right now. They got probably more focus on them than they've ever had. All right. So anyway, or that they've had since WCW died. How about that?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, I gave it a D. Ryan gave it a C minus. I can't believe Ryan actually gave it a higher grade than I did. But yeah, I was. Oh man, I don't think I would have made it if it was a nighttime pay-per-view. Let's just say that.